Welcome back, everyone, to the Celtics Daily Channel with me, Mike Zakarian, and we got some Boston Celtics basketball tonight. Celtics are taking on the Magic. We're going to get into that. We're going to forecast. We'll do a little weather 10-day forecast for you. Then we'll bounce around the league a little bit and get to your questions like we always do. But if it's your first time joining us, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, the like, the hype, do all the things. Do all the things. Get that algo boosting on a Friday, huh? It's Friday. Let's just ease into the weekend, just like the Celtics hopefully do here against the Orlando Magic tonight. So I pulled up the little spready spread for tonight, and old Vegas has the Orlando Magic favored by 3.5 points tonight with a total of 228.5. And I thought that was an interesting line. I honestly, with the way that the Magic have been playing so far this year, I kind of expected the Celtics to be closer to a pick'em, if not a favorite in this game. So the Magic, right, are 3-5. They opened up their season with a win over the Miami Heat, but that's kind of before Miami turned the corner offensively a little bit. They won that game 125-121. Then they lost to the Hawks 111-107. The Hawks had Trae Young at that point. They went to Chicago, then lost to Chicago 110-98. Then they lost to the 76ers 136-24. I believe that was without Joel Embiid. Then they lost to the Pistons 135-116. Got absolutely spanked. Then they picked up two different W's against the Charlotte Hornets 123-107, the Washington Wizards 125-94, and then they lost to the Hawks, this time without Trae Young again, 127-112. Now, when you look at that schedule, I mean, there's a couple of things, right? Like, if you believe in this Atlanta team, if you believe in this Detroit team, and if you believe in what we've seen so far from Philly and Chicago, you'd be like, hey, listen, that was a pretty tough schedule. Pretty tough schedule. It was all Eastern Conference teams. Again, one of those Atlanta wins losses, without Trae Young. And they've only beaten Charlotte and Washington outside of their first game of the year against Miami. So I don't know. The vibes seem pretty bad in Orlando. Orlando forfeited their soon-to-be future with all of those first-round picks that they traded for Desmond Bane, who has just not worked for them so far. It's the weirdest thing. I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but the thing that made Orlando so tough, if you remember that playoff series that we had last year in the first round, and yes, Celtics kind of won handily, right? So you're not too concerned about it. But the thing that they did do was they were physical as hell, and they played really, really tough defense, right? That's not happening this year. They're getting lit up. They're getting absolutely lit up. And then you look at Desmond Bane and what he's done over there so far. Desmond Bane for a career is a 17, almost 18 points per game player, almost 5 rebounds per game, and almost 4 assists per game. He's a career 47% shooter from the field and 40% from three. Are you ready for this year's numbers? It's 14 points per game, so almost 4 points less. He's almost a full rebound less per game. The assist number's almost the same, but he's gone from shooting 47% from the field to 41, and then from 40% from three to 28% from three. So it begs the question, what the hell's in the water in Orlando, and why does it make you not hit three-pointers, right? Because even Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who was a pretty lights-out shooter for the Denver Nuggets when he was on that championship team, he goes to Orlando to get paid. Can't hit the broadside of a barn anymore. Desmond Bane, an elite three-point shooter. And if anything, these three-point shots should be more wide open than they were in the past, because in Memphis, he was constantly being like the number one option because John Morant was missing time, right? Who we'll talk about again later. So not only the shots should be easier, but for whatever reason, it's not. And the vibes just seem pretty bad in Orlando right now to be off to this 3-5 start when, I mean, they had high hopes. I expected them to be, top 4, maybe 5th worst. But not only are they not top 5 right now, they're just not playing well. They're not defending, and there's even rumors of them making a coaching change pretty soon. I mean, they still have Paolo, and Paolo's still putting up good numbers, but it seems, and I don't mean I don't want to say, I'm not saying selfish, because I don't think he's he's not moving the ball, but his impact isn't felt team wide. You know what I mean? Sometimes Jaylen Brown takes over. And that actually helps everybody else out. Jaylen Brown getting to the rack opens up passing lanes. It opens up three-point shots. Whether we hit them or not is another question. But that that offense, that instant offense that he provides sometimes, actually impacts everybody else around them. Paolo's numbers, for whatever reason, it feels like he just kind of gets his. And again, I'm not saying he's a selfish basketball player. I don't think that's what it is. But it's just like it doesn't have this gravitational pull that you see from some of the other greats, right? Like when you're out there trying to figure out what the hell to do with Luka, Austin Reeves turns into a 25-point-per-game guy. All of a sudden, Jackson Hayes or Rui Hachimura becomes a player. That happened in LeBron's career time and time again. Like J.R. Smith. I mean, think of all of LeBron's teammates were like, oh, watch out for J.R. Smith. And a lot of that had to do with LeBron. This isn't really happening with Paolo. And I do think Paolo is an elite level guy who I think would be a borderline All-NBA, right? This season, he's averaging 23 points. That's a career high. Almost 10 boards per game, also 2 over his average. 4.5 assists per game. He's shooting the ball well, 44% from the field. The three-point shot sucks right now. But other than that, he's playing like pretty well. But they just can't get anything going. And I don't know. I feel like they don't have the type of roster construction that can just beat up Boston in the way some other teams have this year, like a Houston, like Utah. Again, I can't believe I'm saying Utah. But they don't really have that, right? It's like, yes, Paolo is a pretty big boy, but it's like Wendell Carter Jr., who honestly at this point just kind of stands in the corner and shoots threes occasionally, doesn't really do a lot of pick and roll, doesn't really crash the glass in a meaningful way. Mo Wagner's still missing time as he's coming back from injury. And then who else? It's like Goga Batadze, who kind of looks like, I've realized he looks like a bigger Ricky Rubio. I don't know. And then Jonathan Isaac, who, again, he's barely getting out there. So I think some guys to watch tonight. Tristan da Silva off the bench has had a really good shooting start to the season for the Magic. He's one of the German nationals, too. Like, he was on their Eurobasket team. And then it's just like, how do the Celtics guard Paolo? I think this is a test. Like, I'm trying to think of other, top offensive fours that we've played, like who guards Paolo here. Does Josh Minot get this assignment? We've seen Minot do a little bit of everything. Does he get this assignment? Because I do think if you slow down Paolo, you're going to slow down this team in general. The Celtics, I'm just interested to see offensively too if they're able to keep the ball rolling downhill. I think that's going to be the focus. Just again, Jaylen Brown getting to the rack. I know there's been a lot of conversation around the three ball and are we shooting it too much? I'm also going to stand by that. At some point, we are getting a Derek White and a Peyton Pritchard three-point barrage. It has to happen. Law of averages. No NBA player shoots like this long. And Derek White has done a good job of impacting the game in other ways. Pritchard, not as much. I actually was listening to a little bit of the Bill Simmons podcast this morning as I was prepping for this, and he had a very different take on this team. I guess he was in Boston for the Wizards game, and he was just kind of like, what is the point of this season, which I thought was an interesting take. But just the idea that this team is probably going to be 500 or a little bit below 500. And with this incredible draft class that's coming, that just keeps getting more and more hyped up. Like, why are we battling to be the 8 seed? And I mean, I guess that's like in the DNA of a winning culture. Like that's what you do. But I don't know. I went on that tangent just because of the shooting of Pritchard and White. Cause I do think when they are knocking down threes at a high clip, the Celtics as a team, but also just White and Pritchard, they have to become threats in order for Boston to be a threat. And right now, I mean, like White, I think we talked about it yesterday in that Wizards game, and I know the Wizards game got out of hand, but, you know, White wasn't even like attempting shots, you know, and then Pritchard got hot in the first half and then really cooled off. And again, the game got out of hand, so it's like, how much are you focusing on that? But for me, I almost wanted them, even with the blow up, to be like, let's get some more shots up. Let's see the ball go through the hoop, you know. And I mean, they're professional athletes, so they're not worried about that as much. But that's where I'm at. I'm curious to see like one of these three balls going to wake up. And then, yeah, if Jaylen Brown is able to continue to attack downhill. Just to give you some more Jaylen stats, I feel like I do this all the time. I just want to make sure we're giving him all the love right now because, again, through 9 games, he's averaging a career-high 27.7 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game. Honestly, would like to see that become 27, 5, and 5. Would like another board and another assist in there, but whatever. He's shooting over 53% from the field. Like, that's efficient AF. All right, 39% from 3, 78% from the line. Just like an incredibly efficient start to the season. So shout out JB. That's some all NBA stuff right there. Excuse me. Let's go with the next 10 games here. Let's look at the Celtics next 10 games because I'm curious, right? The goal here we were saying was to get to 5-5. Tonight is the 10th game. The next 10, this is what the schedule is looking like for the Bean Town Boys. Actually, let's take a little ASMR coffee sip here as an alarm goes off on my phone. Yeah, let's go. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. We're recording early this morning, okay? All right, so this is what we've got. We get the Orlando Magic on Friday and on Sunday. So our 11th game will be against the Magic. Then we play the Sixers again on Tuesday. Jesus. We're going to play, it seems like we play Philly every other day. It's going to be our third matchup against Philly. Then we get the Memphis Grizzlies, all right, who we've already talked about a little bit. Vibes could not be worse. They're off to a 3-6 start. Incredible clip from Kevin Durant this week. Houston played Memphis and they beat them. T. Morant, Ja's dad, was sitting courtside and was like jawing back and forth with KD during like a free throw or something. Well, and Kevin Durant said something to the lines of like, enjoy it now. He was like, enjoy it now. Your son don't even want to be here. Just like, KD, listen, I don't care how you feel about Kevin Durant. He's an elite trash talker. Elite. Shout out KD. We got a doggo coming. He came in hot. There he is on my side. Anyways, so yeah, then you've got the 76ers, Memphis, and then the Clippers, who are off to a weird start too. They played the Phoenix Suns last night, but they were without Kawhi and James Harden in this one, and so they lost that game. I believe they're under 500 right now. So then you have the Clippers, then 2 games against Brooklyn, and the good news is Brooklyn has no interest in winning basketball games this year. Their owner has even said so. Then we get the Magic again. I've lost count of how many games that was. So we got Orlando, Philly, Memphis, LA, Brooklyn, Orlando. We got then Detroit, Minnesota, and Cleveland. That wraps up the next 10. So those are kind of all over the place, but I do think there's a chance after 20 games of being a little bit over 500. And I think, again, those 2 gifts of Brooklyn, Memphis, and then who knows what team. Clippers are at home, which is nice, so we don't have like a West Coast road trip in there yet. So we'll have to stay tuned for that. Now, quickly, I just wanted to bounce around the league a little bit. There was only one game last night, but we talked about the Eastern standings yesterday, right? So I figured we could just like quickly pop over to the West just to see if there was anything weird that stood out, because I mentioned the Clippers. It just seems like we're focusing a lot on the Celtics, obviously, who are off to a wonky start, but they're not the only team. I think surprisingly, the Lakers here we know the Thunder lost their first game, they're 8-1, but the Lakers are 7-2 right now. Lakers are 7-2, and they've done that all without LeBron, who's supposedly a week or 2 away. Luke is also missed some games. Austin Reeves has missed some games. They're 7-2, and then it's like Houston, Denver, San Antonio, all 5-2. Surprisingly, the Trailblazers, Drew Holiday, that winning culture, he arrives. They're 5-3. The Warriors, who dropped the game the other night, they're now 5-4. They're also going to be without Steph Curry. They play for the late game. If you're looking for some late cup action tonight, the Warriors play the Nuggets tonight. And, they're without Curry. Curry was supposedly like throwing up at halftime in the last game. They're 5-4. Anthony Edwards returned to the Timberwolves. He didn't look awesome. They lost to the Knicks. They're 500. But then it's like, the Suns and the Kings are like the 9-10 seeds there at 4-5 and 3-5. So everybody makes fun of the East, and then the bottom of the West is similar to the East. But then the Clippers are 3-5, the Jazz are 3-5, the Grizzlies are 3-6, and last place, Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. So listen, anytime you're feeling like, hey man, are the vibes bad in Boston? Are we a little bummed out? I want you to think about this. The Orlando Magic forfeited their future. They're in tough shape. The Memphis Grizzlies, their best player said he's not playing with joy anymore. He pulled a Jimmy Butler. All right. The Dallas Mavericks said they're in win now mode and they are in last place. So the vibes could always be worse. They could always be worse. So that's how we have to get by. Let's get into some of your comments from the most recent video. Before we do that, just a reminder: hit that little hit the subscribe. Appreciate everybody for getting involved in the comments and just having some fun with it. Let me get to what we had yesterday. All right, here we go. Mike, shout out Mike. He says, wish I could subscribe to this channel twice. Elite vibes. Yeah, we like it. Chris was saying, do we drop the X-Man Xavier for Bol? Definitely feel Bol would fit the Celtic system better. Listen, I think if we are at the point where we're like, could Bol help? We might be in trouble. Bol Bol is somebody that I think everybody from afar is like, dude, we could unlock this guy. And then he gets there and he plays 9 minutes, and then that's it. And then he's on another team. So I don't know if that's it. Back to the Ja stuff. There's a couple of Ja comments. Z Jote said, no, I do not want Ja. The super team era sucked, though it won us a championship. We relied on overwhelming talent hitting bad shots and never developed a cohesive offensive approach. Yeah, I don't even know if that. I guess that would be a superstar era type build. You're right. If we had Ja, JB, and Tatum, that's a good point. And then Edgar said Ja's already peaked and is missing a step. Plus, he's a relentless pain in the ass. His BS destroyed a stats Grizzlies team. He literally blew up a contending team by trying to act like a tough guy. No thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think that Grizzlies team had flaws, but it's crazy that they were, we just never really got a chance to see it. Whether it was injuries or his suspension, like we just never get to see that team get a shot. And I don't know how far it would have gone, but it's kind of wild we never get to see it happen. And then our guy Kevin Sullivan in the chat, he's going the other way. He wants to see the deal happen to get Ja here. I firmly don't. I don't want that. But that's where I'm at. All right, that was a quick show today. We didn't have too much because there's one freaking basketball game. We kind of already got us ready. But Magic tonight, as always, too, we stream those games over on Playback TV, playback.tv/NBA Bit. If you want to watch the games together, come hang out. But yeah, we get some cup action, baby. Trying to stay undefeated in group play on the Orlando Magic. But appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back here on Monday, and we'll have not one, but two different Magic games to recap. So enjoy the weekend. We'll see you on Monday.